I don't really know where they're finding all this money to build a new stadium.
It has now been officially announced with the plans for a bumper, massive 100,000-seater stadium, which is going to be the biggest in the UK.
It's very Saudi influenced, I want to say.
And we think it looks like a circus.
I actually probably will oppose you, Andy, but I actually really enjoyed the interview.
Neville went on there with an agenda to try and get like the big headline of Ratcliffe hates Amorim.
I didn't see that at all, really. I'm a big fan of Ratcliffe. At least he's coming on and being a face for the organisation as opposed to Ed Woodward or the Glazed of years past. So, yeah.
Did you see that he was asked about Rashford? Lovely guy, but just we want people that are 100% committed.
The staff aren't allowed to eat.
It's no wonder that Marcus Rashford left. Like, if people don't have free school meals, then he's out.
I actually just want to focus on right now and what I can do and actually move forward. And I actually quite like that as opposed to the Sky Sports kind of punditries of always just bringing it back to the Glazers destroyed United and them since Sir Alex left.
Hello and welcome to the On Your Head Son podcast. We are mixing up this week. Matt is here with me in person. Welcome to my humble abode, Matt.
Thank you very much. Lovely place. Lovely washing everywhere. So I'm enjoying it. Thank you, James.
You can't see the washing, but we are surrounded by laundry. Love this place. Anyway, joining us all the way from Swansea is Andy.
Hello. I can't see your washing, and I'm very happy for that.
Excellent. What a great little bit of chit-chat before getting into this really, really exciting podcast. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, Andy, do you want to do a little roundup of what happened this weekend?
Oh, absolutely I do, James. Right, well, the big game for me was Forest versus Man City. It's a top 4 challenge, and Man City lost. Again, they're still in their bad bit of form. Forest got them on a counter. It was a beautiful game. Saints lost to Liverpool, but nothing changes there. Brighton got a last-minute winner against Fulham, and Arsenal. Arsenal are now in the top 4 race. They're out of the title race. They're done. They're finished.
I think they already were, to be honest. But you're saying your game of the week is Forest versus City?
That's what I'm going for, yes. Big counter-attack for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Getting a goal like that. I mean, Haaland was non-existent. He usually is, but didn't turn up with a goal. It was great to see.
The game was dead, wasn't it, though? There was literally no chances at all.
Until kind of Forest got them on the counter, there was nothing going in that game.
Edison did an unreal save though from Hudson-Odoi just before, but yeah, it was a top game. Well, it was a shit game really, but good to see City lose again.
It is, and it's absolute scenes for the Forest fans after as well. Like for the whole atmosphere there after, it looked good.
It looked good, yeah. Well done, Forest. Looking set to be in the Champions League next year, which is really quite mental.
Come on, Forest!
Congratulations, Forest.
Matt, what was your pick of the games this weekend?
Mine was Tottenham versus Bournemouth. It was a 2-2 classic. I mean, you got to say, Tottenham were very lucky to get away with this, with a draw. Bournemouth really should have been about 3-4-0 up within 5 minutes. Romero's return didn't quite go to plan. Gave a ball away in the first 30 seconds to give, I can't remember who it was, a chance, maybe Clivert. But yeah, good game, I think, overall. 2-2, flattered Tottenham, and Bournemouth should really have 3 points and should almost be the opposite way around. But good to see Bournemouth top 4 fight as well.
Very much so. Yeah. It's interesting to see. Do you reckon, do we think that Herrera is a better manager than Postecoglou? Do you think he could be a shout for a replacement for Postecoglou this summer?
They've been in the job the same amount of time.
They have.
Joined the same month actually, and you can really see Herrera's had a better effect over the long period. However, you've got to take into account the injuries that Tottenham have had. He's still sticking to his style of play. I'm still Anjin. I said it a few months ago and he turned the corner and I'm not sure really what to think anymore. But Anjin all the way. I trust in Ange. No Iriola, it's just chaos football. That's why they lost a 2-0 lead. You can't do that.
Never do that. Never do that.
I think that would be a good appointment, but as soon as you go to Spurs, you can't do well. Mourinho proved that. No one does well at Spurs.
Very good. Well, so my game of the week probably isn't the game of the week because it was also pretty boring for a lot of it. But I'm going to talk about Man U Arsenal. Both very, very underwhelming performances. And, well, by both their standards, really, probably underwhelming seasons. Arsenal just don't pack a punch without a striker or Bukayo Saka in the team. They don't. No. And maybe they scored all 7 of their goals that they would have balanced out over the course of a few games in one game. Because you've actually looked at that game last week of the Champions League, they had an XG of like 1.8 and they scored 7.
I know. But 8 goals in 2 games, James. You're missing a point here.
There we go.
Arsenal are actually on fire going forward.
It
8
is,
goals
yeah.
in 2 games. You look back 3 games. 8 goals in 3 games. They're looking good.
Yeah, Arteta's looking good, man. He's looking good. He's storming out of interviews, but he's still looking good.
No, he's just being silly. No, Arsenal just came up against, well, what Man United do when they play against the big teams, in inverted commas, and just sit behind the ball and actually do that quite well. They've been doing that for years quite well. And actually, they could have won the game like quite easily.
Hoyland.
Yeah, Hoyland and, well, Bruno Fernandes could have scored in the last minute as well.
Yeah, but I'd say more Hoyland, where the Declan Rice challenge.
Yeah.
Go on. I mean, Arsenal won in the end because of that challenge. So
Yeah, shush United. Come on, Declan.
Yeah.
1-0 draw.
1-1 draw. Much better result for Man United than it is for Arsenal because, as Andy did allude to, that is Arsenal, if not already, out of the title race. Not happening. Well done, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Move
3
on.
weeks of
Next season.
3 weeks of poor form for Arsenal. Poor. Yeah.
I mean, they're playing Marino up front because he scored 2 headers.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, good on them.
Genius.
But let's move on and let's talk about Man United because they've been in the news a lot this week already after a certain interview from their new owner, Jim Ratcliffe.
minority owner.
Minority owner, just.
Yeah. Minority.
Just. But I don't know if you guys watched it. Did you see the interview at all? Anything stand out for you?
Well, I watched it and he seemed like, he was a bit stressed being at United. Obviously, it happens to everyone. And he was really counting those pennies. Really just talking about how the players are allowed to eat, but the staff aren't allowed to eat. Like at the club, it just shows how tight everything is.
It's no wonder that Marcus Rashford left. Like, if people don't have free school meals, then he's out.
He's all about feeding people. And that is Rashford left on that principle.
He did. And did you see that he was asked about Rashford? And he said, he was like, yeah, lovely guy, but just we want people that are 100% committed. So and from what it sounds like, he's very, very committed to Amorim.
He is, yeah. No, I think particularly from what he was saying, he could actually see a vision, even though that Arsenal game, he said, wasn't necessarily played in the right style, but Amorim wants to play. But he was like, yeah, I could see the passion for the club. I could see everything for the club. And I actually probably will oppose you, Andy, but I actually really enjoyed the interview. Good old Gary Neville there, trying to drill him, but really wasn't drilling, almost just trying to inflate Man U, really. And also blame the Glazers for absolutely everything, which, to be honest, they are at fault for quite a lot. But I think, the way Ratcliffe kind of went around that without kind of directly saying anything about the Glazers, almost like blaming them, he was kind of like, listen, we're in this situation because of the last 10 years. We don't even want to even talk about that, really. I know the interest payments are killing us, but I actually just want to focus on right now and what I can do and actually move forward. And I actually quite like that, as opposed to the Sky Sports kind of punditries of always just bringing it back to the Glazers destroyed United and since Sir Alex left. So I'm a big fan of Ratcliffe, and at least he's coming on and being a face for the organisation as opposed to Ed Woodward or the Glazers of years past. So yeah,
I do think Neville went on there with an agenda to try and get like the big headline of Ratcliffe hates Amorim and stuff. He was really going after Amorim's play in the interview, like trying to get Ratcliffe to actually say some bad mouth him a little bit. But yeah, wasn't a fan.
I didn't see that at all, really. I actually thought they almost like agreed upon what they were going to talk about. To be honest, I thought the way that interview ended obviously on the Man U stadium, kind of like we go, right, okay, we're going to end on something positive here. It was almost like very pre-planned as to what we're going to talk about, which is, let's be honest, that's almost any interview you probably do. You pre-plan some questions and stuff like that. But it was, and I think he answered very well to each one. So big fan of Man U. Come on United.
Well, you alluded to it there, but it has now been officially announced with the plans for a bumper, massive 100,000 seater stadium, which is going to be the biggest in the UK. The design, super modern, 3 big, almost netted looking towers, bright white. What's your first opinion on the stadium, Andy?
They said the Wembley of the North they're creating up there. And in our group chat, we discussed and we think it looks like a circus with all the netting on the outside of it, the big poles. Yeah, I don't really know where they're finding all this money to build a new stadium. I thought they were in dire need to cut back and everything's going wrong at United, but 100,000 seater stadiums now in plan, so yeah.
Well,
Bit
yeah,
shocked, but-
they're not paying for school meals, are they? So
Yeah, that's true. Rashford's out now, so the amount of budget they were spending on that, they've got that. Yeah, they've got that now.
yeah, what's your opinion on the stadium? Like the look of it or not?
It's very Saudi influenced, I want to say.
Yeah.
It looked a little bit painful, really. To be honest, it was very commercialized. I think it would be quite cool. But it's so early in the process. It's literally not even really worth talking about, if I'm to be honest. But it's good. It's a good chat, isn't it?
So not worth talking about.
Not worth talking
Let's
about.
move
Not
on.
worth talking
Let's
about. Let's
move
move on to something else.
I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Let's move on to real stadiums, like real stadiums.
Whoa.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you both, first of all, for your top 3 stadiums in the Premier League. And Matt, let's start with you.
Top 3. I'm going to start in third. Actually, no, I'm starting first. I think the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think, just wins. It's an unbelievable stadium, I think, across the UK. I think that wall almost facing the Dortmund wall, brilliant. Second, an old school one. Crystal Palace. It's a brilliant stadium. I've been there a few times, absolutely love it. And third, is a stadium yet, but not quite in the Prem. Everton. Go on, I really want to go. It's on the River Mersey or something, and yeah, I can't wait.
Bramley Docks.
Bramley Docks.
Not River
Bramley
Mersey.
Docks.
Yeah, who cares? Merseyside.
By
isn't
the
it?
Mersey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but-
those are my top 3.
Those are your top 3.
Pretty good, yeah.
Interesting. They're not in any of my 3 at all.
No.
But yeah, do you know what? I'll go with my 3.
Go for
So I put number 3, and you'll see a theme here. They're all quite old school stadiums. Number 3 is Villa Park. Absolutely loved
that.
Villa Park. One downside is they didn't serve beer in the away end. Didn't like that. That's why it's third. Number 2, I actually really like Stamford Bridge. I think Stamford Bridge is a good stadium. I really enjoy that. Yeah, I love it. But number 1, there's only one, and I thought you were going to say the obvious one. Newcastle, St James's Park is
Why, man?
arguably the best atmosphere I've ever walked out into, and like for the whole game.
Yeah.
And we did go to one of the best atmospheres that's been there in the last sort of 5-10 years. But
For sure.
yeah, it was incredible. Do you agree, Andy?
Yeah, I had St James's Park as my first one. Like you said, when we went out for that atmosphere, that FA Cup game, was it semi-final we got to? Or was it
Semi-final, yeah.
Yeah, the semi-final. Just the atmosphere Newcastle created there. It was great, and the Geordies was so much fun after on the night out. So we got to give St James's Park for the whole atmosphere of the stadium.
Yeah.
Then second, I've gone for comfort with like a good stadium. I think is the Emirates. It is a good stadium when you go and visit it.
It's a bad
I think
stadium.
know that is a lovely stadium. I think when you're sitting there, it's just very. It's not a great like kind of massive atmosphere, old school thing, but it is quite nice stadium. And third place, I'm going for Ellen Road. I'm going for a classic bit of history with Leeds United. And yeah, I enjoyed going to Ellen Road. You got a real sense of how close all the fans were to the pitch. It just, that felt electric there.
Are they in the Prem?
They have been in the Prem.
They
Exactly. Well, I mean, nah.
They
we're
will
not
be
going
next
just
season.
Prem.
They probably will be next season.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Could say St Mary's. We're long gone. We're down League One again. I think.
Well, on the subject of St Mary, I'm sure it's probably in there with a shout. What is your least favourite Premier League stadium? Andy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, London Stadium.
London Stadium.
You're miles away from the pitch, is why everyone says when I went there, you are very disconnected. Yeah.
Don't disagree. I have been there. Not my favourite at all. It is an athletics track. It's not a football stadium.
Yeah.
My least favourite is just based on the atmosphere when we went, and that's Brighton, the Amex. The atmosphere there is awful. It's more like watching a rugby game where people applaud like the players.
Yeah.
They're all too wealthy for their own good down there, I think. But basically, that day they qualified for Europe, and pardon?
And Saints got relegated.
Yeah, and Saints got relegated that day. And when they qualified for Europe, it all erupted at the final whistle with a raucous
Yay!
Yay.
Go Brighton! Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my least favourite. How about yourself?
Southampton. St Mary's, no real need for an explanation.
Disgusting.
It's the worst stadium, I think.
Disgusting.
Bar maybe. There's a couple of others in there, like Molineux. Honourable shout.
Yeah.
All those early 2000s stadiums
Yeah.
or late
Well,
90s.
the King Power Liberty Stadium, Swansea. Oh yeah, that's a shocker.
Britannia.
Britannia.
Yeah, like the state-of-the-art stadium that came out in 2001, which is now they're all a carbon copy of each other.
I even put Arsenal in there. I think I put the Emirates near there because
Really?
it doesn't hold any atmosphere whatsoever.
No, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the Emirates. Even we went in some nice seating one year as well. That was very nice. You know, the old.
You're just remembering the
Watched
good
it.
fun we had and making up.
Yeah, I think I'm enjoying the beers more than I'm actually thinking about the stadium.
You are. You are right. We're talking about our own personal lives here, but let's move on. One more stadium question each. Let's start with you, Matt. This time, what stadium in the world this time we're opening it up?
World.
Would you most like to visit and see a game in?
See a game in. I'm gonna go for the Classica at the Dortmund Stadium. I think that would be
good shout.
absolutely class. Like there are a few others, but I think that's and being the yellow wall. Yeah, I think that would be mine. Yeah.
Nice. Andy, what are you going for?
I'm going for the Bernabeu. Real Madrid, seeing Los Blancos play there, that would be insane. Like just the size of Real Madrid being in that stadium. Oh,
Very good.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny. I mean, I would have picked Barcelona over Real Madrid. I
agree.
think I
Oh,
prefer
no.
the Camp Nou over the Bernabeu. But that's not going to be my pick. My pick is going to be the San Siro, and it's going to seeing the Milan derby there and hearing like all the fans. Zara Becchetti, I really want that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
good.
a life goal for me. I want to go and see that song, and that'd be
Agree with that.
that'd be amazing. I think that'd
That's a
be
good
a
one.
really, really, really cool experience.
Yeah.
Good shout.
So that's our chat on stadiums. Of course, let us know what you think. Give us shouts on what your favourite worst stadiums have been. We love to hear it. But now what I'm going to do a quick run through of the Premier League fixtures coming up this weekend. Just 8 games because two teams are playing in the Cup final, the Carabao Cup final. So we've got Everton versus West Ham, Southampton versus Wolves, Ipswich versus Nottingham Forest, Man City versus Brighton, Bournemouth versus Brentford, Arsenal versus Chelsea, Fulham versus Tottenham, and then finally Leicester City versus Man United at 7 o'clock on a Sunday. That's a weird time for a game.
And it's Andy's birthday that day.
Strange.
What a birthday treat Leicester versus Man U is.
What a present that is in the evening. Well, I'm not going out. That's what I want to do with my day.
Wow. Well, Andy, why don't you tell us, and maybe it will be that, what your game to watch this weekend is?
Well, I'm tempted with no. I'm not going for that. That sounds rubbish. I'm going for Southampton Wolves. This is massive. We're against a team that are actually struggling in a relegation battle. We need 3 points just to beat Derby's record. Then let's go down. But if we don't win this weekend and we lose again, then we really could beat Derby's record.
I don't disagree with that at all. Do you think that, are you of the opinion that there's a massive golfing class between the Wolves players and the Southampton players?
100%. Like you're seeing, like their star player of Cunha, him against what? If we bring in Stevens, I don't know. We got Bednarek back there. Harbaugh's still alright, but
luckily Cunha is suspended.
Yeah.
oh,
That's the one like silver lining that we've got.
but I'm not going to celebrate too early with Saints. But yeah, like the rest of the players still a massive golfing class. Lamina as well. He could punish us. So yeah.
Yeah,
Don't really
great expert analysis right there, Andy.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Come on. What's your game to watch this weekend?
I'm staying away from the Premier League. I think the Premier League, it's got a bit boring, guys. La Liga is where it's at. Last week, it was Real Betis against someone. I don't know who it was. I think it was Osasuna or maybe Las Palmas. I can't remember. But Anthony watch. Here we go. They win. Real Betis win again, 2-1 in the 95th minute. What happens? Anthony goes lunging in, gets the right back for balls miles in the corner flag. He goes lunging in for a slide tackle and gets sent off. So Anthony, unfortunately, suspended for the next game. So we won't be watching Real Betis next week. What you'll be watching on Sunday, the 16th of March at 8 p.m. is Atletico against Barça. It's the think it's first versus third now, but that's only because of timing, in terms of how many games they played. But it's only 2 points between them. It's a big, big, big game, and this is where the real title battle is. It's in La Liga. It's in Serie A. So come on, let's go.
Come on, let's go. I mean, you said it with such authority. I mean, you've got to feel for Atletico's fixtures. Like they've had 2 games of the Champions League against Real Madrid, and then the big game against Barcelona the following weekend. That's tough. That's tough.
Peak.
Right. Surely, I know it's not Premier League, but surely the game of the week is the first bit of major silverware, if you can call it major. It's the Carabao Cup. It's the Carabao Cup, and it is this Sunday, and that is between Liverpool and Newcastle. I think almost everyone in the country is rooting for Newcastle, unless you wear red and white and you happen to be born in Sunderland. But do we think what do you think? Do you reckon Newcastle got a shot?
No.
No.
Yeah, I have to agree. But I really want them to win, but I don't. No, I don't back them.
I think
and Gordon's suspended as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think with Gordon out, it's going to be difficult. I mean, they've got Harvey Barnes as a good replacement. I think that Liverpool will have to have a below par game, and Newcastle will have to massively overperform at the same time.
Sure.
If that happens, then you never know. Funny old game.
No, I mean, you know what Arne Slot's got. Yeah, that the talent he has in that team and how they're playing. Surely they're winning.
But maybe they get tired out from a game against PSG, because PSG take them to extra time and win on penalties, as you guys saw when we released this episode just before or just after the game. Wink, wink.
Wink,
wink. PSG won 5-4 on penalties. So come on, it was a brilliant game. So maybe they're tired from that game, and then Newcastle steamroll them in the Carabao Cup final.
Just confirming that game hasn't happened yet, so we do not know that score. Matt, it's your time to give me and Andy a game.
Oh! Whoa! Let's go!
It's a brilliant game, right?
Okay.
So what it is, you have to do 3 movies in draft style. One of you goes first. 3 sports movies, and then by the end of it, I'm picking which 3 movies I'm going to watch this weekend. And but it's got to be the best one, the best kind of one between you two, but it has to be sports movies. Okay?
Sports movies.
And if
Sports
you
movies.
guys want to think about it, we can have a 2-minute break here, and then by the magic of this, you can come back to me. And we're back. So, here we go. Boys, you got it. You got your sports films. I'm looking forward to watching these. So, James, think of a number. James, say a number. 4. Andy, say a number.
3.
James, you win. Number was 6. So, James, you go first.
All right. I'm going to go for the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, that's a good.
Oh,
The original Mighty Ducks.
quack. That's good. Right. I will raise you with the game plan. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Ooh.
It's a good film. It's a good film. Right, Andy, we're going back to you now.
Okay. Well, who we base the podcast off? Mike Bassett, England manager. On your head, so that's core.
Good.
It's gold.
Might say why. It's not the time of year to watch that film.
Nah,
It's not into that tournament.
Doesn't matter.
Timeless.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going to go with Happy Gilmore.
Oh, it's a good shout.
Oh, that's a
It's a
good
good
film.
shout. I
That's
like
a good
that.
film. Right, and then James.
And you are, after watching after watching an afternoon of football this Sunday, so you're watching these. Well, I was on Saturday. You've got the lunchtime game, the Carabao game, and you've got Leicester versus Man United. And then you finish off, and you probably had a few drinks. So on Sunday, you're finishing off your weekend with dodgeball.
Oh, dodgeball's a great shout. Oh, fuck, that's good.
Right, Andy.
Right, I'm going for a different tactic here. You know, you can have fun with the first 2. They're a bit light-hearted. Then you want a serious sports rivalry with Rush. You want to see a great F1 battle for the ages between James Hunt and the other guy who was in that fire. And that's going to be good. Nicky Lauda. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So I like those 3. So, Andy, do you want to just recap on your 3 there?
Okay, it's the game plan Mike Bassett, England manager, then Rush.
Okay, right. James, do you want to recap on yours?
I don't want to watch that at all. I went for the Mighty Ducks Saturday morning, Happy Gilmore Saturday evening, and then Sunday evening, it's got to be Dodgeball.
Oh,
This
I
is
tell you
good,
what,
right? It's an American lineup, that.
unfortunately, Andy, it's another loss for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
I
Dodgeball,
love
God.
those films. Thank you very much. Well done, James. Well done.
Oh, that's right, James.
Another win.
Mike
Andy,
Goodman coming at you.
Andy, that means you're coming. That means it's your turn. Your turn.
It's
to
my
be
turn
doing it.
next. All right, get your asses ready. It's going to be a hell of a game.
Looking forward to Dodgeball.
Excellent. Well, you have to let us know how that is next week. But until that point, that's it for us, I guess. Any closing remarks, Andy?
Just live long and prosper. Come on, Newcastle.
No, let's go watch PSG Liverpool right now.
Let's go do that.
Yeah.
That is a wrap. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Matt.
No worries.
Thanks, listeners. And remember, until next time, that it's on your head, son.
Not off your head.
Son!
Yeah!
PSG, go on, let's go.
Go on, PSG. Go on, PSG. Let's go.